I'm just astonished that we're so looking in the rearview mirror and not absorbing the progress that we've made in this country and building on it.
We have covered Michele Tafoya's ramblings with white supremacist espouser Tucker Carlson. Think I'm kidding?
Become literally hysterical if you use the term replacement, if you suggest that the Democratic Party is trying to replace the current electorate, the voters now casting ballots, with new people, more obedient voters from the third world. But they become hysterical because that's what's happening, actually. Let's just say it, that's true.
If he really wanted, the one thing he wanted, Megan, in this life was to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, he'd be one right now.
What she did was get out of sports broadcasting and use all the dog whistles to pander to conservative ideals.
I'm going to continue this, and this is the direction I'm headed.
And she did it over.
Why are we even teaching that the color of the skin matters? Because to me, what matters is your character and your values.
Yes, but you know, you live in the United States. You know that color of skin has been mattering to people.
Can't we
for
change
years.
it that it
well,
doesn't?
we need white people to step up and do that.
But I think that they've been doing that since the Civil War, and I'm not saying it's perfect.
No, they haven't.
What do you mean they haven't?
And over.
Now the message is that white parents are being ignored when they complain that their children are uncomfortable learning about racism, that their white children don't want to be uncomfortable. Well, let me tell you something. Black kids around this country are stigmatized and are made to feel uncomfortable every single day. And I don't think it's too much to ask white parents to allow their children to learn about the very real history in this country that is still very prevalent, the systemic racism that is still very prevalent in our country. What is so wrong with learning the real history of our country?
And it breaks my heart that my kids are being taught that skin color matters. And to me, if you want white people to step up, I was stepping up when I addressed the school and said, why are we having these picnics for families of color?
And over again. Her latest despicable display came when Tafoya went after the face of Major League Baseball, Shohei Ohtani. You see, Ohtani has caught a lot of flack from big names in sports media.
Even though baseball is an international sport, and I totally get that, it's played in the United States and Canada.
Including the face of ESPN's Stephen A. Smith.
The fact that you got a foreign player that doesn't speak English, that needs an interpreter, believe it or not, I think contributes to harming the game to some degree.
Who many called bigoted remarks. He then did a non-apology apology tour, doubling down on his remarks. After Tafoya, who left sports media to co-chair Republican candidate Kendall Qualls' bid for governor, which he lost to Scott Jensen, she fired off this tweet. At Angels Broadcast, enough with the Ohtani baseball chatter. If I may, enough about Ohtani? Yeah, let's stop talking about the best baseball player right now. If I were on the Angels broadcast and someone told me stop talking about Ohtani, and then I did, I'd be fired. That person who is given that advice would be let go. And let's say hypothetically she were the program director, she would be let go. Stop talking about Ohtani? What? Hey, stop talking about the guy who might repeat as MVP. Stop talking about the guy who is etching himself in the record books right now as we speak, as we are watching history. Just stop talking. What?
Okay, so I guess you have an issue.
Just shut up and play, will you please? America's tired of Draymond Green. And I deal with them constantly. The fans, San Francisco fans, different story. Oh, they're totally tired of this. Should be quiet and play.
We've all seen Chris Mad Dog Russo's wrong criticism of Draymond Green.
I'm not sure who he's become in sports or in media to say how America feels. He then proceeds to say, shut up and play. That definitely had a very racist connotation. Who are you? Who are you to say, like, what have you done in your life to say America's tired of him? Shut up and play. Shut up and play. Those shut up and play, shut up and dribble days, those are long gone.
And even the man himself, Draymond, responded to said criticism.
But the problem saying this now, and we all want our athletes to be politicians. We want our athletes to have big, strong opinions. If we want our athletes to talk, and I don't, if we want our athletes to be bon vivants, talk about politics and culinary and fashion, you get this clunky stuff that I think doesn't work.
That would be FS1's Colin Cowherd. At the time he spoke on the James Dolan-Charles Oakley beef, where Draymond Green said the Knicks owner operates with a slave master mentality.
This is Draymond jumping in. So in this instance, this is a bystander, okay? This is a drive-by. I just think in this instance, this is what it's become in my world. It's that we want our athletes to comment on everything. That's now cool. In social media, if you're cool now if you have big, broad opinions on life beyond your sport. Let's be honest about this. Most people have a specialty, myself included. Yep. Once I get off the fairway,
way off there
my margins shrink. My level of knowledge shrinks. Athletes should primarily, and sportscasters, try to stay reasonably close to their lane. When they don't, this is what happens.
A rather interesting soundbite from years back on how Cowherd viewed the modern-day athlete.
And one of the things that I've said, you can't transfer genius. That's why Elon Musk doesn't have a lot of proteges. You don't run into a bunch of engineers going, yeah, I learned everything from Elon Musk. He functions intellectually in a different space.
You know what, just going to leave that one there for y'all to marinate on, I suppose.
So Draymond, I'm leading to this. Draymond Green was lamenting some of the younger players in the NBA these days on a Michael Irvin podcast. Well, that's because, Draymond, you're not a highly skilled player. You're more of a troll.
Aside from the obvious criticisms that FS1's Colin Cowherd unleashes on many, he went particularly hard at Draymond Green time and time again. Draymond Green doesn't fit this team. He's the bully at the nightclub. He's the bouncer. He's the class clown, said Cowherd. He will not be here in 3 years. His skills are totally replaceable. Draymond Green has been reduced to an ineffective shooter, an average defender, and almost an annoyance to his teammates as much as the other team. Cowherd also spewed, you wouldn't know who Draymond Green was on the Pelicans. 4 years into the league, he's averaging 8 and 6. And that's with people paying attention to his great teammates. Part of Draymond Green's love affair is that he was a second-round pick. He's overachieving. What is noteworthy is the following. In November of 2021, Green signed a deal with The Volume, a podcast company founded by none other than Colin Cowherd himself, along with iHeartMedia. His shows have taken off, as he is currently in the top 5 of the most downloaded podcasts in the sports category. So, a wise investment.